Good afternoon, it's Ted at Sester Farms. I wanted to check our CG liners over here in bed C70. So these plants, this would be a weeping white spruce. This plant was a CG liner, what we call a CG liner. And we want to look at what kind of growth we're getting on this plant since we sold it as a CG liner. CG liner means it's been one season of a graft into a 2-gallon. It's actually about 16 months. So here we're going to take this plant, and now it's going to be a size plant. It's now rooted to the bottom, okay? It's an 1824, so now it's done a flush since it's been a CG liner. So now we call this at Sester a 2-gallon 1824. So everybody that got a CG liner got a great deal, because now that tree is selling for about $10 to $12 more, and it's on our list as a sized product, 2-gallon, 15 to 18, 1824. So let's continue to look at our different varieties. So over here, what do we have? This was a CG liner. Now it's a Fat Albert, soon to be 12 to 15, 10 to 12. Now a sized product. You see this plant explodes in size. A CG liner is a very, very small plant. All you're getting is a root system. And sometimes you may have a couple inches of soil in the bottom. We're working on that very hard to try to pot those things as soon as we can. Now in August, where we take the graft and put it in the pot in August. So we're trying to make it so it's rooted all the way to the bottom. But now we look at our root system, okay? It's rooted to the bottom. Now it's a sized plant, but this is a 20-some dollar plant, not an $18 plant. So this is about $10 more because it's a size plant. We go through it, we put a grade and we size it and put a tag on here. Some trees are 10 to 12, some are 12 to 15. Let's look at more varieties. People that buy CG liners out here are getting the best deal because they're getting the tree all at the same price. They're getting it at its youngest stage, and when it puts growth on it, it almost doubles in value. Okay, so what do we have here? We have a hoop size spruce. So here we see a hoop size. The hoop size grow a little bit smaller. So it was a CG liner, and now it's only 8 to 10. So a CG liner on a hoop size is going to be smaller because it grows less in a year. And you see, we're not done growing. It's only May 15th. We haven't got our full extension right here, but this will be a 10 to 12, 12 to 15 line out. But here again, a CG liner is going to be very small, but you see how it's exploding in the last 60 days. And this will soon be, we'll keep track. You can watch more things on our YouTube channel, and you can see how we're doing this process. Let's keep going. We got a few weeping white. If you're in the weeping white business and your supplier isn't able to handle your order, Sester Farms has predicted ahead of time. The numbers of weeping white we do are huge. That's because we have customers in cold areas that love weeping white. They like to be in grow programs. They want to buy our 2 gallons, our 5 gallons, 7 gallons, 10s, 15s, 20s, 25s. You got to have a 2 gallon to get all those varieties. So sometimes these plants won't be sold for 7 or 8 years, but it starts with a program. If you want to be in a program, we've got plants that we can put in a program for you, but quantities are very, very tight, and we have to have planning, production planning. So if that's something you want to talk to your sales guy. So you can see this plant grows very, very quickly. Let's just validate that this is a weeping white spruce. That's a Picea glauca pendula. This thing exploded from being a 2-gallon CG, unsized, little tiny plant, to this right here. Absolutely great deal. Here you see the understock is Norway. So if I had a pruners right here, you can see that's suckering back just because we got to clean it up. Don't freak out, you know what I mean? Don't worry about it. We didn't do any damage to the tree. This is the Norway understock. So it's Norway, it's grafted. It's a grafted plant, okay? Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So fastigiatus, okay? Yeah, these are grafted a little bit high. There's no question about it. Fastigiatas are very, very, it's difficult for us to get enough scion wood for our fastigiatas, to be perfectly honest with you. We have a huge demand for this plant. We try to keep our numbers grafted to what people are selling, but the demand keeps outperforming that. So these are grafted a little bit high, but it doesn't make any difference. Just consider your marketplace. Or if you're doing a 6-foot tree, this tree will be this wide. This doesn't make any difference down there. If you're doing a tabletop little plant in your garden center, no, you don't want this. But most people, a 2-gallon is too small for them. But this is what you would expect. A CG is going to be like the smallest plant in here, like this, okay? But this is a sized plant for going out the field. A size like 12 to 15. We're not done growing with this plant. 2 gallons are for people that have, you know, a production growing facility where they're very cost conscious. A 5-gallon is the most common because you're in harsher growing areas where their growing area is not as long as it is in Oregon. This is a heaven for growing trees. So 5 gallons is our most common size that we're selling out to plant out in fields, in growers' fields. Lots of people plant 200 of every grafted variety that works for that area. They sell them at 6 to 8 feet tall. Production nurseries would be people that buy CG liners, or they might buy a 2-gallon because they take them all through their process and they're able to save money on that. But understand, a CG liner is an unsized plant. It was this plant 60 days ago, which is more like this. If you buy a sized product, you're gonna get something like this. 2 totally different price points, $10 to $12 difference. Don't quote me, we don't throw prices on this thing. Talk to your salesman, those don't change, or grow programs. Everybody's different. If you're in a program, your price is the same. If you're not in a grow program, it's whatever the price is. You know, it goes up and up depending on inflation. Grow programs are totally, totally different. We'll give you our best price all the time, guaranteed to lock in. Let's keep going. You got weeping white on one side, you've got fastigiatas over here. There's lots of numbers out here. I understand it's a long video, but you might be interested in being in this program. I don't like garbage at all. You notice we have these PVC pipes out here. So those are for putting, you know, we use bait in here. So obviously, you know, you got some moles right here. You could have rodents. We don't want any rodents in our plants in the wintertime. All kinds of weird things happen. So we have these little PVC pipes, and then we put some rodent bait inside there, and it works out very well. Okay, let's keep going. So we're looking at, all this is 2 gallons that we're looking at. Every tree's on a fiberglass stake. It's very beautiful. We love our poly twine around here. It's very, very bad on bearings. Also cut my finger off with it one time. You only do that once. What variety do we have here? This is more Fat Albert. We do thousands of Fat Alberts, okay? So when you buy a CG liner, it's gonna be like the smallest thing in here, okay? A CG liner doesn't have new growth on it. You know, the trick is you order a CG liner and let me hold it for 90 days. That's not the way this program works. A CG liner, 90 days later when it's growing, is a sized tree. So we're just on the brink of going through here right now and sizing the plants. In about 30 more days, they'll have all their growth on them. We're, you know, making sure they're fertilized, we're staking, we're growing the plant right now. So the people that got CG liners 60 days ago just got a massive deal, and we're very, very happy for their business and want to keep doing that, and we add them into our production numbers. Over here, what do we have? We have Weeping Norway, I believe. Or is this Royal Splendor? Let me check here. Okay, this is still Weeping White Spruce, okay? Ted, wrong. Okay, what do we got here? We got Oregon Green. Yeah, here we go, Oregon Green. We talked about this in other videos, but it's Oregon Green. I love this plant. You know, I didn't love it at first because I thought it was supposed to be exactly like an Austrian, but now I really like this, this plant. Grafted, it's more compact, it stays together. This is what you would get if you buy a sized 2-gallon. It's not quite there, so it's halfway between a CG liner and halfway between a sized plant. It's gonna be like that tall. Here we go, we got, what else do we do out here? Some of our faithful customers that we contract grow for know what they're out here because they're sitting in their can yards or fields, but this is Cesarina Blue Pine. You would be behind every other customer. So your order, the way it works, you've been buying your plants from Sester Farms, you're in a grow program, your order gets filled first. We don't take on new customers unless the established customers have their orders in place. It's very important to have your order here. There's other varieties you want us to grow, we'll put it in the program. Here we have a, I want to say that this is a Sester Select Ponderosa. So we've selected this ponderosa. We have the mother plant of this. Gordon Sester picked that plant, and it's a little bit tighter ponderosa. It's cold hardy, and it's just a beautiful little plant. And then we'll come back later and trim that understock. I see that that needs to happen right there. That will be a sized 2-gallon, 15 to 18. Okay. We got some mugo over here, some grafted mugo. There's a slow mound mugo. So here again, it's May 15th, so we're only halfway through the growing season. It's halfway between a CG liner and a CG basically is this with no new growth on it. Okay, let's keep going. We got globoses right here. Sorry, that's, sorry Ted, that was a mistake. That's Sester dwarf. You can't really tell what these plants look like. So Sester dwarf, you know, one could say, let's talk Old King James, one could say, oh, this plant doesn't look like anything. This isn't big enough. Your Sester, you're ripping me off. Go look at a Sester dwarf, is how they start. Gordon Sester picked this plant out. It's a beautiful plant. The root system has a Norway root system, Norway understock. So what's the best way to get this out of the pot? To rip it out of the pot? Let's just see. We're just gonna rip it out of the pot. It's rooted the pot. But you see, if I just rip on this plant and break all the root system art, it's not a root-bound plant yet. It's not a root-bound plant. Root-bound plants come out real easy, okay? That's not. You gotta be careful. We on our potting line turn everything upside down, just FY. Some of these plants have a Norway root system. Most of them have a Norway root system. And on the spruce, and it's kind of floppy. It's not like a Colorado spruce root system. It's more fibrous. It doesn't have these big brace roots that go out. And so you gotta be careful when you're ripping the plant out. These younger plants, you gotta be real careful. It depends on the variety. So we look over here. Every plant has different growth habits. The dwarf plants don't grow as fast. That makes a lot of sense. More fat Alberts. Dwarf plants don't grow so fast. That actually is true, right? Bruns Serbian, beautiful tree. One of my favorite trees out here. I actually just like this tree. So we should boost the numbers on here. I think that more people will like this tree. I like it. It's very disease resistant. You know, I didn't like the name Bruns. I have no idea what it means, but I like the plant. Okay, I like the plant. Sounds like something out of Shakespeare. I have no idea, but whatever. These are all fat Alberts. More fat Alberts. More Bruns Serbian. I think we got more weeping white right here. Do a lot of weeping white. Very, very popular plant. Very popular. I know if I repeat myself, I'll sound like Trump, but that's okay. Fat Albert. I don't like this garbage right here. I just wish they would just not have this right here like that. Really bothers me. Full-time job keeping this place clean. Let's see what variety we have here. More fat Albert. More fat Albert. What do we have over here? More weeping white. You can see those. These are all CG liners. They're absolutely gorgeous. Love these plants. Okay, let's look over here. I got some beautiful little plants over here. The only thing that was done is we separated all the CG liners out. See, they're all spaced out. Just this little spot has not been spaced out yet. Okay, so you got Fastigiatas right there. These plants look like absolute nothing before. Globoses looked like nothing about 50 days ago. Absolutely nothing. Yeah, these guys didn't have my mother as their mother, or they wouldn't have garbage out here, I'll tell you that. Okay, let's look over here what we got. More weeping white spruce. Well, I just wanted, some of you guys have visited the nursery, some of you haven't, some of you seen CG liners, some of you hadn't, but this plant goes from looking like nothing to looking like something, and that's the point of this video.